As we reported earlier this summer, a group called Aerial Recovery, which trains and deploys humanitarian special operators to effectively respond to natural and man-made disasters and, most importantly, combat sex trafficking, working alongside foreign authorities and domestic, dismantled the Andahualas train trafficking network in rural Peru, rescuing 10 girls from a hidden brothel. It was a shocking story, but it was also a rare and positive one. Just this weekend, another aerial recovery operation was carried out in Peru that led to the arrest of 6 criminal traffickers and the rescue of 30 girls from sex slavery. Aerial recovery has an ongoing agreement with the Peruvian National Police to help them combat human trafficking and apply their special forces expertise. The efforts by private U.S.-based organizations using former U.S. military special operators in foreign countries has been a growing trend since the disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal under President Biden. The rise of groups like Aerial Recovery comes during an administration that is largely on their side this time around, which makes for some interesting dynamics. The Biden administration, by contrast, has been credibly accused of acting as the largest human trafficking organization in U.S. history, facilitating the loss of at least 300,000 minors from south of the border, with a shocking report, remember, from March, revealing that 65,000 help calls came from unaccompanied minors who had been placed in the homes of strangers and, it turns out, some sex traffickers by Team Biden, only for their calls to go ignored. Remember that story? Well, the Trump administration under DHS Secretary Kristi Noem has rescued 13,000 of those kids, but the mission obviously continues, and it doesn't continue just inside the United States. It continues in the hands of even operations like Aerial Recovery. We are joined now by Britnie Turner, who is the CEO of Aerial Recovery. Britnie, thank you so much for joining us. What an incredible mission just happened this past weekend.
Thank you so much. It's so rewarding to see what we're able to do when we work together in the public and private sector. And that's what we're loving seeing across the United States as well, is just the welcomed help with the expertise of groups like ours that are just dedicated to these missions. So we repurpose veterans and first responders, and that includes law enforcement, into these humanitarian spaces that require their special skills to save lives and stop evil. We're so grateful for the partnership we have in Peru to be able to help dismantle these networks of sex traffickers that are taking people throughout Latin America and many times into the United States, or luring people from the United States in for sex tourism.
The coalescing of these two groups, you've got foreign governments you're dealing with, in this case Peru. I know that you're also dealing with other foreign states in South America and Latin America, but the differences must be enormous in conducting a mission like this with a foreign government, but having the backing of the government here at home, even if you're a private organization. Talk about the differences there. Under Biden, that must have been fairly non-existent.
We didn't really count on it. And, our thing is children over politics. We work with whoever's in charge, and we try to work with whoever's in charge. And we are definitely seeing a much better response under Trump's administration, to say the least. And just with the help of HSI, FBI on all these cases that are happening internationally, even when there are not Americans as the predators, they still care and they still offer the resources as best they possibly can. And that's so critical, because these cases aren't just happening in one spot. The whole thing with trafficking is the movement and sale of people and children. And so we have to work together. And that's one of the reasons we've worked so hard to set up our own cross-border collaboration throughout Latin America in all of the different countries and states that we work in, because our Ecuadorian team just reported a case where a girl was kidnapped from Ecuador to Peru. We had our operatives in Peru and rescued a 16-year-old, and she's found with a 4-year-old, and she's been sold for over a year in a brothel for 12 to 15 guys a day. And so these networks and these collaborations, these partnerships are so critical, and we are seeing just such a positive response throughout. We haven't found anybody that's not working with us really well, and I do think that's leading with our great reputation and the fact that we care so much and we have this special expertise.
Talk to us about the lessons, I guess, that you as an organization have learned about the way that these traffickers operate overseas in our neighboring countries, and what DHS can be learning now here on U.S. soil.
The top things we're seeing is really just how they're luring people in. So much of this is economic desperation for why a parent would sell their child or exploit their own child. That's like, normally I haven't found a situation where it's not sheer economic desperation, which still doesn't justify it at all. But that's one of the ways people can help, is by helping the economy in more positive ways, bringing in other jobs, bringing in different opportunities, fixing their corruption. All of those are strategies that help with the big picture, because this is a multifaceted issue. And then on the other front, there's women like we rescued this weekend that were promised these beautiful, amazing jobs to work in resorts, hotels, restaurants. As we've all seen, foreign people working in places like that, that's very normal job opportunity for people to come from a place that doesn't have opportunity to work over there. And so there's a lot of different tactics that these traffickers are using to lure them in, and then have them recruit their friends, because they'll torture, rape, murder. They'll recruit 10, torture, rape, murder the one that talks back, or the ugliest one, in front of the rest, so they can see what happens if you act up. And then they'll call their own friends, recruit 3, and they'll be treated better. Or they offer them life insurance, for example.
Such an age-old story.
Yeah, here we're going to give you
It just seems like it's such an age-old story where poverty thrives, if you want to put it that way, where poverty thrives, evil finds a way to exploit it. What an incredible mission. We're out of time now, but for people to find out more, they can go to Aerial Recovery and look at the ongoing missions and support the missions that you guys are currently overseeing. It's such a pleasure to visit with you. Thank you so much for the update, and Godspeed with the missions that are underway now.
Thank you very much.